Let's go to Ukraine. It's a little bit depressing. I want everybody to know, for the record, and it won't matter if I'm wrong because we'll all be dead and wouldn't know. There will not be a nuclear war because of this. I'm telling you right now, because nobody in this wants to die. They're all very important to themselves. Zelensky's very important to himself. Putin is very important to himself. Antony Blinken, our Secretary of State, as much as I hate to use the word our, Secretary of State of the United States, he's very important to himself. There, of course, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Joe Biden are very important to themselves. Jake Sullivan, very important. Victoria Nuland, very important to themselves. People are like, well, they have bunkers. Bunkers will buy you 30 days max, and then you're dead with all the rest of us. Festivus, as Seinfeld says, for the rest of us. But so there, again, you know the story. Joe Biden, for some reason, has unilaterally agreed without going to Congress, which, by the way, is absolutely anti-constitutional and against the law. You cannot wage war without congressional approval, and he's doing it. He's allowing our missiles, which can only be shot by us. People, please understand this. No, they're being shot out of Ukraine. No, they're installed in Ukraine. But they have to be shot by a tech expert in the United States of America, or a tech expert American stationed somewhere. So an American is doing this. They aren't. Putin knows it. He's already said it. We've already played the videos. He's already said it's not. They're called ATACMS. I know that sounds like some sort of hot pocket. Hey, Mom, fix me up a batch of ATACMS. No, these are missiles. So these ATACMS have to be shot by a tech United States military expert using satellites, using satellite technology, using GPS satellite technology, which is extremely high tech and way out of my ability to even discuss. Breaking, Steve Gruber tweet, breaking Ukraine. So Biden approves them yesterday and approves them Sunday, and they're shot today. Look at the date. Shot today. It's as if Biden, in his last gasp efforts to basically mess up the Trump administration and Trump transition, here's Biden trying to mess that all up. And by the way, he's basically just a free agent. You know he hates Kamala. You know he voted for Trump, but now he wants to screw Trump over. And this is what he's doing. Ukraine fires U.S.-supplied long-range missiles 2 days after Biden approved them to do so into Russia, Defense Ministry says. Ukraine used the Army Tactical Missile System ATACMS in a strike on Russia's, Bryansk region. This morning, the Ministry of Defense in Moscow said. Now, is that necessarily true? Because does Moscow lie? Moscow lies for a living. So does the CIA. So does our State Department. So does our government. Tom, are you saying that you side with Russia? No, Russia is, again, an authoritarian dictatorship that for some odd reason, we're siding against their enemy. We're siding with their enemy, who's an authoritarian dictatorship run by Volodymyr Zelensky, who's an authoritarian dictator, who's eliminated all elections, who's eliminated all opposition parties, who's eliminated all opposition media. Sounds just like our Democratic Party, doesn't it? Who eliminated all of our opposition media, all of their opposition media. All right, go to the next one for me. Benny Johnson video. Ex-Navy SEAL Eric Prince followed this guy on social media. He really is an expert. Ex-Navy SEAL Eric Prince on Ukraine launching U.S.-made missiles into Russia. Play for me.
I believe we're at the precipice here. What do you make of this American missile attack into Russia from Ukraine?
So, look, the ATACMS missile is effectively a Scud. It is a highly accurate, modern American version of a Scud missile, which you've probably heard about from the Iraq days already back in 1991. The fact is the Ukrainians have longer range drones and bigger payload weapon systems that they themselves have launched with some success inside of Russia. This is very unnecessarily provocative. The fact that it's a high-end weapon system made in America at great cost to be firing them. I don't think it's going to trigger a nuclear response from the Russians. but to me, it's like a drowning person grabbing anything on their way down of a dying, failing administration to try to really snatch any semblance of incremental victory from a complete and total disaster of this neocon war for the last few years. The other downside is every other system that the U.S. has exposed in Ukraine has, within a matter of weeks, been rendered impotent by very capable Russian electronic warfare jamming. They do a very good job of jamming the navigation and blinding our systems so that our stuff doesn't work. So we have hundreds of billions of dollars of investment in lots of stuff that the Pentagon has paid, and it's really not in that high a demand in Ukraine because it's been, like I said, been rendered useless. The Iranians have been shooting hundreds and hundreds of weapon systems, and effectively an ally in this of Russia against our ships in the Red Sea. Fortunately, they haven't hit anything yet. Don't know the success of these ATACMS missiles or not.
All right, so there you go. Modern version of the Scud missile. For those of you that remember, like Desert Storm, all of that, the Scud missiles were shot out of Iraq. So it's a modern American version. There it is right there. According to reports from Aaron read, 6 were shot, 5 were shot down by Russians. So there were 6 actually launched by the Ukrainians. Out of the 6, 5 were shot down by the Russians. And as Eric Prince said, Ukrainians already have drones that have a further range, and they have weapons that actually carry a heavier payload, which have a larger range, which they might have or could or are shooting into Russia right now. So how big a deal is this? It's big. It's big, but I don't think it's ever going to go nuclear because Russia has already been absorbing strikes from Ukraine into interior Russia with drones and with missiles that have even heavier payloads than these ATACMS that have even a further range. Now, let me correct something I just said. They have either Russia has already absorbed this or they might in the future, but Russia certainly knows the weapons that Ukraine has. But Russia is reporting that these ATACMS were shot into Russia today. And this possibly is over the whole Kursk region. It's hard for me to say these names. Kursk region, that Ukraine, which is an unguarded part of Russia that Russia doesn't really care about. That's where allegedly the North Korean troops were stationed. Nobody's been able to verify those reports that there's even North Korean troops there. Nobody's been able to verify that. Is that a CIA op by saying that North Korean troops have been stationed in Kursk? Who knows? Everything, folks, is a lie coming from our own government. And everything that's coming from Moscow is a lie. Everything that's coming from downtown Kyiv is a lie.